Hello, my name is Nathia Anamulai. I am student, and my matric number is UFB 210015.
Today, I'm going to talk to you about leadership.
Definition of leadership. Definition of leadership. Leadership is the art of motivating a group of people to act toward achieving a common goal. In a business setting, this can mean directing workers and colleagues with a strategy to meet the company's needs. So, what is the leadership style exhibited by that leader? Let me explain one by one.
Authoritarian leadership. Authoritarian leadership styles allow a leader to impose expectations and define outcomes. A one-person show can turn out to be successful in situations when a leader is the most knowledgeable in the team. Although this is an efficient strategy in time-constrained periods, creativity will be sacrificed since input from the team is limited. The authoritarian leadership style is also used when team members need clear guidelines. Second, participative leadership. Participative leadership styles are rooted in democratic theory. The essence is to involve team members in the decision-making process. Team members thus feel included, engaged and motivated to contribute. The leader will normally have the last word in the decision-making processes. However, if there are disagreements within a group, it can be a time-consuming process to reach a consensus. Delegative leadership. Also known as laissez-faire leadership, a delegative leadership style focuses on delegating initiative to team members. This can be a successful strategy if team members are competent, take responsibility and prefer engaging in individual work. However, disagreements among the members may split and divide a group, leading to poor motivation and low morale. Transactional leadership. Transactional leadership styles use transactions between a leader and his or her followers, rewards, punishments and other exchanges, to get the job done. The leader sets clear goals, and team members know how they'll be rewarded for their compliance. This give-and-take leadership style is more concerned with following established routines and procedures in an efficient manner, than with making any transformational changes to an organization. Last leadership style, known as transformational leadership. In transformational leadership styles, the leader inspires his or her followers with a vision and then encourages and empowers them to achieve it. The leader also serves as a role model for the vision.
Well, Nathia, can you explain how the leadership approach impacts the employees and company?
Sure, Manoj. Let me explain one by one. Firstly, the leadership approach. Positive values trickle down. Positive leadership skills, such as decisiveness, integrity, and honesty, these values can have a trickle-down effect on your employees and encourage them to work harder for you. In other words, when you behave in a positive manner as a leader, your attitude may have a contagious effect on those who work for you. For example, if you have younger employees who are straight out of college and have little real-life work experience, learning positive values from you can help nurture habits and ideas that will help them mature and become valuable members of your long-term business team. The more positive behaviors they learn by watching you, the more those values might start to reflect on how they treat not only your customers but their co-workers as well. Second, it will increase trust. When lead your employees in a way that fosters FEELINGS of trust, this can improve manager-to-employee relations and build a stronger company foundation. Trust can be formed in many ways, which include full disclosure to your business teams about the terms and conditions of the deals they are negotiating, being honest about payroll issues, and being discreet about any personal issues that you may be made aware of by individual employees. When you lead by emphasizing the importance of trust, your employees may feel more secure in their jobs and about the kind of person they're working for. Third, the company objectives become clearer for all. To make company's objectives clear to all employees, expose them clearly or discuss them openly, so that each of your employees understands how they fit into your vision. When your workers feel they have a place in your company's goals and its future, they are much more likely to be happier and more productive. Employee satisfaction is also one of the impact of leadership approach. Leaders who use the dominating leadership style make a clear separation between subordinates and superiors. Autocratic bosses frequently make decisions without consulting employees. This usually results in low staff morale. It also leads to higher employee absenteeism and worse staff retention. While this leadership style works well in times of crisis, such as a natural disaster, it produces poor long-term results. When leaders utilize a coaching approach, subordinates feel safer and more encouraged to focus on their own growth, which benefits the firm in the long run by boosting employee morale, retention, and satisfaction. Next, productivity. A participatory leader collaborates with employees to determine the best approach to achieve the company's strategic goals. This sort of leader understands that individuals who are closest to the problem generally have the most insight for suggesting process modifications that lead to increased productivity. This involves fewer mistakes, less waste, and more customer satisfaction. Participatory leaders facilitate team-building exercises to enhance cultural understanding and diversity, which can boost productivity by encouraging the team to appreciate each other's talents and worth. Decision-making. When leaders use the democratic leadership style, they accept input from their subordinates to make key decisions. They encourage feedback and suggestions from everyone, at every level of the company. This process takes a while, so even though employees feel more empowered, decisions can take a considerable length of time. When leaders use the laissez-faire leadership style, they delegate all responsibility to their subordinates. If the team has considerable experience, its members can make their own decisions quickly and this works out well. If the team lacks the skills and knowledge to make appropriate decisions, chaos usually ensues. The last one is metrics. An effective leader sets a clear direction, communicates the goal, and ensures that subordinates align their own objectives to the strategic plan. This leads to long-term profitability and growth. For example, to ensure high rates of customer satisfaction, a successful leader encourages subordinates to eliminate any processes that don't ultimately benefit the consumer. This helps focus the entire company on gathering comprehensive requirements from sponsors and stakeholders, prioritizing work with the greatest impact, and optimizing processes so the company makes money. When leaders don't establish clear priorities, subordinates focus on different metrics. This often causes conflicts between departments and results in a dysfunctional company.
Wow, Natia, that's fantastic. Can you tell me what your preferred leadership style is if you're the manager?
Sure, Manoj. If I ever become a manager, I will adopt a participative leadership style because, in this approach, leaders leave most of the decision-making process to trusted team members. Moreover, leaders provide guidance as necessary and delegate tasks to individuals based on their skills. The advantage of adopting this style is, it increases employee motivation and job satisfaction and encourages use of employee creativity. A participative leadership style helps in the creation of a strong team. High level of productivity can be achieved by this style. Second, I will choose democratic leadership style because this style uses a consultative approach in which leaders solicit feedback from individual team members and Decisions are made more slowly, with leaders considering the input of relevant stakeholders. One of the advantages of this leadership skill is encourages participation. By its very definition, this leadership style invites participation and involvement from people within an organization who may not otherwise be represented. It will fostering feelings of involvement and inclusion. Team members are made to feel more important. At last, by having their concerns heard, they feel more valued and integrated into an organization. The second advantage of democratic leadership is allows for more efficient problem solving. With more minds working on a problem, the number of potential solutions increases. While decisions may be reached less quickly than under other leadership styles, autocratic leadership, we are looking at you, it's likely that the eventual solution will be arrived at via a more rigorous process. The third advantage is invites higher levels of commitment. When you bring an idea to the table and it is heard, discussed, and potentially implemented in the eventual course of action, it's hard not to feel more involved in your team. As this culture becomes established, teams become more tight-knit, and team members are likely to feel higher levels of commitment and involvement. When used correctly, democratic leadership can foster positive and healthy company cultures. A strong and clear vision for the future is built by adopting democratic leadership. To succeed, a democratic leader needs to define and articulate a vision for the future that team members can align with. We've spoken about inviting contributions and facilitating greater teamwork. A solid organizational vision is the foundation for these things. In the context of a clearly articulated vision, the method of engaging with an idea you may disagree with changes. Instead of rejecting it, shooting it down, or criticizing, team members are more likely to scrutinize and offer constructive feedback. Lastly, I will try to 3. Winning employee trust. Trust in leadership is a critical factor in employee performance, regardless of which style leaders adopt. Trust has to be built up over time. But the more leaders strive to gain employee trust and demonstrate their trustworthiness, the better gains they can see from employee performance. Leadership styles and trust both have a direct impact on employee performance. Different leadership approaches suit different situations, and it's important for managers to understand how to implement the one that best fits the circumstances. At the same time, leaders must also work to increase trust so that employees are more engaged and empowered and therefore more likely to take the initiative. Always telling the truth. Following through on commitments. Listening to employees' concerns and opinions. Promoting a positive work environment are important elements. As a conclusion, leadership is an important factor for making an organization successful. It is the art or process of influencing people to perform assigned tasks willingly, efficiently and competently. Without leadership, a line manager simply cannot be effective. Leadership of the line managers transforms potential into reality. When good leadership is in place in the organization, it can be felt throughout the entire organization. With good leadership, organizational culture is not forced but developed. Communication is effective and open. Everyone understands the vision and goals of the organization, and everyone has input into how they can be improved. People feel that they are an important part of the organization and they give their best for the success of the organization. Finally, the leadership in the organization is to meet the 3 challenges. The first challenge is to provide a shared vision of where the organization is heading and what its purpose is, the mission. The second challenge is to set objectives, that is, to convert the strategic vision and directional course into specific performance outcomes for each key area which leaders deem important for success. The third challenge in providing strategic direction is to generate and develop a strategy that will determine how to achieve the objectives. Strategic direction is imperative in identifying a systematic intervention that will provide the most leverage to the organization, as an organization cannot focus on everything all of the time. So, that's it from me. Thanks for watching.